The phone that you're seeing on the screen right now is possibly the most controversial and being called the ugliest flagship on the internet right now.
Nothing Phone 3. I think yes, it is ugly.
It just looks a bit spotty, with like half an NFC coil over here, this strange spacing between the various points of interest, and the fact that this camera is very close to being aligned with this one, but it's just a little tiny bit off. It all gives me real unfinished prototype energy.
But how can a company known for its groundbreaking and standout design, which even myself is a fan of, has created something so polarizing that even its cult admirers are mocking at it? For evidence, just scroll through the Nothing Phone 3 review comments and also their live to just know it for yourself.
So here's what went wrong with Nothing this time and how they can kinda fix it in my opinion.
And can they really compete with the biggest tech giants like Samsung, Apple, and even the Google Pixel? Let's find out. In case you have no idea what I'm talking about, Nothing is a smartphone company which started its journey by selling a pair of earbuds, is now a $1 billion smartphone company with an impressive growth of 567 in 2024, and in Q1 2025 alone, the sales rose only in India by 157. With that momentum, Nothing launched its first flagship model, the Nothing Phone 3, in the US market this year. So you get the whole context that Nothing is a rising startup. So now let's address the elephant in the room, the design. People are clearly upset about the misaligned camera layout. Why? Because it breaks the design rule of symmetry. Sure, design is a subject topic, some might like it, some might not, but here's what I think went totally wrong. We humans tend to love symmetry subconsciously. Our brains are hardwired to love symmetry. It feels stable, aesthetically pleasing, and complete. Some might argue that shifting the camera would have changed everything. However, the camera was misplaced intentionally to punch through the PCB to reduce the camera bump, thereby avoiding cosmetics, unlike we have seen in the Samsung Galaxy S25 series. But people's liking cannot be slave to your innovation, right? And more importantly, this time Nothing has made a major branding mistake by removing their Glyph lighting, which was their signature identity from the start of the launch. As in business, there's something called identity dilution. Psychologically, it's a similar phenomenon known as loss aversion, where people feel worse about losing something they had than they feel good about gaining something new. Maybe Nothing thought that removing the Glyph light and adding the subtle Glyph matrix would help them to appeal broader audience, and they might have assumed that the old design was kind of gimmicky and a niche down product design. But doing so, they have alienated the early adapters, which love the company because of their boldness and unique design. But calling a $799 phone quote-unquote a true flagship in your words, while not having its own unique essence in the camera space, performance, and except maybe the design, alright? It really looks something new, fresh, as compared to Samsung or Apple, where the design has been same for years, no innovation. I really like the design. It really looks something out of the Star Wars movie in my opinion, so huge respect for that. But it doesn't make it mass appeal in the Android world or Android ecosystem. Yes, Carl Pei, the CEO of Nothing, is a huge admirer of Apple, and he truly focuses on product experience rather than getting to spec battle. But at the end of the day, people still do care about specifications like cameras, battery life, and processor benchmarks, etc. in the Android world. And I believe that this shouldn't be the only reason to buy a smartphone. It should be the experience in my opinion. But when it comes to Apple, we don't question much as it's a different ecosystem. But sadly, in the Android world, people still do only care about specifications. I have a theory, alright? Just a theory. Just hear me out. Some of you might like it or some of you might not. What if the Nothing Phone 3 is a part of pricing psychology play? Let me explain. There's something in behavioral economics known as asymmetric dominance effect, also known as decoy effect. You might have personally experienced it in the movie theaters. Small popcorn $5, medium $8, and large $9. Most people would choose the large one as it feels a better deal. So what if the Nothing Phone 3 is a medium, a decoy, designed to make the upcoming flagship the Nothing 4 a justified product, or maybe to push more user towards the Nothing Phone 3A and 3A Pro, which offers better value in terms of design and pricing? Or Nothing just wanted to position their first flagship into the market by saying that we also make flagship for the current and future investors. Amazing, right? 3 targets hit with one particular bullet, and that was my hypothesis. And if Nothing really messed it up this time, they can literally redeem themselves in my opinion by launching a community edition of Nothing Phone 3 by also adding the Glyph lighting interface if possible, and I feel fans would just love it. In my opinion, they would just love it, and if not, lesson learned. And my final conclusion of this video, please don't take things so seriously, man. It's just a smartphone where nothing, just try to level best to just deliver something new in the market in terms of design. I know the phone is not up to the mark. People would say that the price is not justified, but at the end of the day, if you want something new, if you want a phone that really stand out in terms of design, and to be honest, the back Glyph matrix, I liked it because me as a lonely person who just is most of the time lonely in his room just editing videos, and if your just brain gets freeze and you just have your phone, you don't want to scroll through, hover through social media, you can just play rock paper scissors. I know at some point I would just get bored, but at the end of the day, they have delivered something new. It's not a daily drive for everybody. If you are buying a smartphone for really good performance, you play heavy games, you want your camera to be top notch, no, it's not meant for you. If you just want the overall experience, if you want to enjoy something new in hand for you, then the phone might be for you. All right, I'm not saying it's the best phone out there, but at the end of the day, it's something different. And if you really enjoyed the video, please do like and subscribe to this channel if possible. Until the next time, hasta la vista, adios, and peace out.